The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of ParaX, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
All these voices.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Staring into the Abyss. I am your host, horror author James Hershey Jr., and with me as always my co-host, old boy James Ash. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing pretty good. How's everybody tonight?
On tonight's episode, we have an interesting, but kind of a weird article, and I sent it to old boy last night. I came across it and just thought would make a fun show. So it comes from icetech.info. And the headline is Former World Bank Executive. Non-human creatures control the world. It was written by Emily, and it does not have a date in which it was published. For decades, the theory that a secret organization controls the world in the shadows has been around. However, it is now that an executive close to the elite who has broken her silence, revealing the truth. They are not from this planet. One of the longest running and most popular conspiracy theories of all speaks of a possible organization that pulls the strings of our entire society. This elite would be found within the economy, religion, industries, and entertainment, occupying quite important positions. Despite the fact that many people discredit it, this theory gains much more strength when a former World Bank executive is the one who decides to break the silence and publicly reveal that not only does this elite exist, but that they do not belong to this world. Who is Karen Hoods? Karen Hoods was a fairly senior executive in the Treasury Department of the World Bank until 2007. In her resume, she holds degrees in law from Yale University and economics from the University of Amsterdam. In addition to his work at the World Bank, he also worked for the Export-Import Bank of the United States, including working in the World Bank's legal department. Hughes' career was impeccable, and she was held in very high esteem during the 20 years she worked at the World Bank, until she was fired in 2007 as legal counsel. The reason: denounced the corruption of the elite that is dominating the world and its possible non-human origin. Hughes' statements, quote, "Non-human creatures with elongated heads and an IQ over 150 control the Vatican and the World Bank," end quote. With these words, Hughes began her public denunciation of what she personally saw when she held the position of legal advisor at the World Bank. The lawyer and economist declared that extraterrestrial beings have been infiltrated for years in quite important positions of power. She assures that they do not belong to the human race, and they are addressed as Homo capensis. These beings have coexisted with humanity for many years, prior to the Ice Age. In an interview with the news portal Next News Network, Hughes stated that despite the fact that in the past she did not believe in any of that, she began to investigate to realize that there was historical evidence of creatures like the ones that would live today, with strangers, elongated skulls, or as can be seen in Egyptian hieroglyphs. Despite the fact that Hughes' words have aroused great interest worldwide, to the point that television networks have wanted to interview her, she is not the first to denounce this. The former Minister of Defense of Canada, Paul Hellyer, gave some statements in 2014 in which he assured that there are extraterrestrial beings working directly with the United States government. We could be in control of a fairly important core of world institutions, including financial, corporate, and religious, to get dominance on the planet. According to the theory, the goal of dominating these institutions is the enslavement of humanity through debt. They want to enslave all governments and politicians to give up huge financial contributions to use for their political campaigns. Because this elite also manages the entertainment and media industry, the truth is that it is extremely difficult to find out about this. It is obvious that our most important institutions work based on the interests of those who manage them. Huge statements are just one more grain in that great hourglass that will announce the time for society to wake up. And that is the end of this article. So, here are my thoughts on this article. It's not a mainstream site, first of all. And there were a couple spots in the article where there were grammatical type of errors. You'll notice when I was reading earlier that I referred to her as he a couple times in the beginning. That's because the pronoun for this lady kept changing from she to he throughout the article. So that was one mistake that was made. But as far as the information that's in the article, that's a whole different story. So let's kind of go through a couple of these points that they talk about in this article. They talk about the fact that a group of elites, they're claiming that they're aliens with elongated skulls and very high IQs. But essentially a group of elite aliens control the world. They are in charge of the media. They are in charge of the entertainment industry. They are in charge of the world governments, the economies of the world. They are in positions of power in corporations and business, in the churches of the world. They hold positions of power there. So basically every aspect of your life that has any kind of position of authority, they have infiltrated and head up. So let's look at that statement for a second. Are there elites, a ruling class, a deep state, a swamp, which a lot of people call it, that runs everything? Well, obviously the evidence is overwhelming that that is the case. Whether you are on the right or the left of the political spectrum, whether you are religious or non-religious, whether you are American or you live somewhere else in the world, this last few years that we have been through has proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that the people that are in charge of everything call the shots, and they can shut it all down at their own whim. They can make you lock up in your own home. They can make you run around wearing a ridiculous mask on your face that does absolutely nothing to help. They can make you do anything they want you to do. So it is obvious that they are absolutely in charge of everything. If we look at the media and entertainment, okay, so with entertainment we're talking Hollywood, we're talking TV, we're talking the music industry. All of those are in lockstep with these same people. So whatever the official narrative that comes from the governments are, whatever those narratives are, whether it is wear a mask, whether it is lockdown, whether it is get rid of this thing or get rid of that thing or ban this or whatever it is, Hollywood, the music industry, and television, all of it, and the news media as well, they all follow whatever that official narrative is, always. So you get a unified voice telling you something everywhere you turn. Now, the majority of the times we learn that what we are being told by all of these people is usually not true. It's usually nonsense. We learned that during this last few years. Not only with wearing the mask and locking down and all that stuff that happened. Not only with that, but if you look at in the United States, you look at all the stuff that had to do with Trump when he was president. All the lies that the media told. All the lies that Hollywood went along with. How many news stories were there? How many different attacks did they have on that man that we later learned to be untrue? How many fake things happened, such as the Jussie Smollett garbage, those kind of events? How many of those have happened? And we learned later that there was absolutely no truth to what we were being told by the media, by entertainment, by the music industry, everybody. Over and over and over again, it has been demonstrated that not only are all of these people on the same page as the people that run the government, but also that they're liars. They lie to you all the time. And they do not have your best interests at heart. Now, you might think that's controversial to say, you might not agree with me, but think about what I'm saying, and you will realize it's 100% true. So is there a cabal of elites that run the world? Absolutely yes. They control everything. Are those people aliens? Because that's what this article is claiming. This lady from the World Bank is claiming that it is aliens that run everything. That's what we're here to kind of discuss tonight. The honest answer for you from me is I have no idea. Do aliens exist? Let's start there. That would be a good point to begin if we're going to try to figure out if these elites that rule everything are alien. Let's first answer the question, do aliens exist? Now, I think on that front, once again, there's an overwhelming amount of evidence that they in fact do. We have multiple videos that have been released by the United States government, more specifically by the Navy and the Department of Defense, that are showing extraterrestrial craft. And you have these same people saying they don't know what the hell this is. It's not theirs. It's not their technology, and they don't believe it to be the technology of any other nation on the earth. And some of these craft, the things that they're capable of doing, quite frankly, defy the very laws of physics as we understand them. So I would say the evidence that there is at least one extraterrestrial race is overwhelming. So then you have to ask the question, okay, if we know we're here, okay, that's not up for debate. We know that human beings exist. There is life on the planet Earth. So that's one planet with life. So if we look at these UAPs, as they're calling them now, or if you're old school like us, UFOs, that have been captured on film that the government is admitting they have no idea what they are, they're not of this earth. That would mean that there's at least one other planet out there that supports intelligent life. So if you have it happen once, you might say, wow, that's a hell of a miracle that happened there, man. That's a freak sequence of events that led to a miraculous formation of life. But if you have it happen twice, then all of a sudden it's not this thing that only happened in one place just by a miracle of everything coming together exactly the right way. It's happened more than once now, which means that it's repeatable. In science, when you do an experiment and you get your results and you release your study, there's a reason that when you look at studies, you want to find peer-reviewed studies. What peer-reviewed means is that other scientists have read your study and they have replicated your experiment and gotten the same results. So if your study is peer reviewed, that means that other scientists have been able to replicate what you've produced, which gives credence to your findings. Same thing here. If we have at least one other planet that has extraterrestrial life, that means that it is repeatable. It is a pattern or a sequence of events that has been replicated at least once. So if it is repeatable and can happen more than once, who's to say it hasn't happened a ton of different times? There might be dozens, there might be hundreds, there might be thousands, there might be millions of planets out there that have intelligent life on them. Out of those, there may be a few or a couple dozen or hundreds or whatever that life has advanced to the point where they can leave their planet. So it really could be like something out of Star Wars or Star Trek out there in the universe. So I would say, are aliens real? 100%. Is it possible that an alien civilization could have come here and taken us over? Well, that sounds far-fetched when you first hear it, but if you really break it down and think about it, of course it is. If we already have established that aliens exist, and we already have established that they have come, think about the technology and the knowledge needed to travel from wherever they are all the way here. Their technology is advanced past our understanding. Look at the capabilities of the craft that are here. We don't know how they do what they do. We are not capable of replicating that. As a matter of fact, like I said earlier, it seems to defy the very laws of physics. So not only can we not replicate the capabilities of that craft, but we don't even understand how it works. It might as well be magic to us. We have no idea. So that would lead you to believe that these aliens are much more advanced than we are. So if you have a race of aliens that are far more advanced technologically than we are, and they have greater knowledge, scientific and other knowledge. If they have better scientific knowledge, that means they have better knowledge all around, which means that they would have better strategies, better tactics, better war knowledge, because they're way more advanced. What happens when you have, like, the United States military that goes into a country that is basically like it is back in the Stone Age? Okay, this has happened before in our recent history, where we have gone into countries in the Middle East where they are not technologically advanced at all. And like, look at Iraq, for example, which is more technologically advanced than a lot of the countries over there. It took us less than a week to take that place over. So when you have a military that is way more technologically advanced, it would easily be able to conquer a less advanced civilization. But maybe they don't have the numbers, because it takes a long time to get here maybe, and you can't send a whole lot of them at once. So if that's the case, would they take us on in a head-on war? Or would they use their higher intelligence and greater knowledge of tactics and strategy to take us over and rule us? To me, that seems like a fairly plausible scenario that might have taken place. We have the documents that state that Eisenhower, President Eisenhower, met with and made a deal with an alien civilization to gain technology. So we already have documentation and, at the very least, strong suspicion that there are deals that have been worked out between at least one alien race, maybe more than one, and our government. So if it happened to our government, it stands to reason it probably has happened to other governments as well. So you already have governments and aliens working together. So if that's the case, why would it be so hard to believe that they could control things? They could get into positions of power as more of them arrive and take over not only governments, but take over industry and corporations and education and religious institutions, all that. To me, that all follows. It all makes sense, like it could have happened. So did it happen? Well, the honest answer to that, once again, is I don't know. I don't have any actual evidence saying that it happened. We have this lady that is saying that it happened, that she's seen it herself, and she was part of the World Bank, an executive at the World Bank, so it's not like she's the town drunk that's saying it. But I have no actual knowledge. There's no evidence to look at. There's no photographs or documentation that she has provided that shows us that this is true. We just have her word on it. But I think whether or not it is aliens that has taken us over, or whether it is simply a bunch of Satan-worshipping elites, that have done it, which is another theory that's out there, that this cabal that runs the world are devil worshippers, essentially, that sacrifice children and do all this horrible stuff. Whether it's that, or whether it's aliens, or whether it is simply a bunch of really, really super wealthy people whose families have been running everything since before the Middle Ages. They're the same families that were the kings and queens and the monarchies in different countries and stuff like that. If that's the case, or whether it's one of these other things that we've talked about tonight, I don't think that matters so much. I mean, sure, it matters some, but I think the bottom line here is that there is a group of elites that run everything and control everybody. And they do not have your best interest at heart. They don't care whether you're having a good life or not. They want things to be as hard on you as possible in all reality, because that makes you easier to control. They essentially just want slaves. They want worker ants that will produce their food and build their stuff, that are just smart enough to work and to keep on chasing that carrot on a stick, but aren't smart enough to figure out that they're being used and abused. I think that, in my opinion, is the case. I think that these people are probably people. I don't think they're aliens. I think they're most likely humans. But I think that they're into some very dark stuff. I think that there are rituals that are being done. I think that there is an element of demon worship that goes on with these people. And I think they're bad news. But I do not believe that they are aliens. Now, I might be wrong. This lady seems to think that they are. She seems to know that they are, is what she's saying. But until I have actual proof in front of me, actual evidence put in front of me that is undeniable, I just can't make that leap that it's aliens that are doing it. But I can 100% tell you that there are human beings that are doing it. And those human beings are evil. And they're doing some horrible stuff. And I think 99% of the people listening right now would agree with that. I think you all know it. But I don't think that it's aliens. That's my opinion. I don't have any proof that it's not. I want to say that on the record so that everybody understands it could be, or it might not be. But I think it's beyond debate that there are a group of elites that run the world that don't give a damn about us. I think that's pretty obvious by now. And if you're somebody listening to this who doesn't believe that, I would suggest, very lovingly suggest, that you do some research and you kind of start looking into things, because to everybody else on the planet, it is very, very obvious at this point. So if you're still one of those that are watching the news and believing everything they say, and you go along with whatever the official narrative is all the time, you're being lied to. And I'm telling you that because I love you. And you need to open up your eyes and wake up and see what's actually going on. Because these people don't care about you. And that's the bottom line. That's the truth. I always tell you the truth, and that's the truth. So with that being said, I'm going to throw over to Old Boy and get his opinion on the article and some of the little side rants that I went on tonight about the article, and just basically what he thinks in general about it. So, Old Boy, go ahead, bro.
One, I've seen this lady before. I've seen her talk about other things. You know, I have difference of opinion. There is a possibility that she's telling the truth, and there's probably a very much chance she's not. Again, there has been proof that isn't just aliens running this government. The Men in Black, the Mothman sightings, and the Men in Black would come, and that's proven fact that they did. So I don't know, man. I knew people who have told me stuff. They worked for the government. We all have had that person say that they've seen stuff. You know, we've had presidents come out and say they've seen the reptilians. I don't know if I believe that, but I don't know, man. We've learned a lot of stuff in the last 70 years, or 70, 80 years after Roswell. We got phones, we got all kinds of stuff, and there's proof that they said that's where they got some of the stuff is. I don't know. It's a very much of a possibility. I think, again, there's a possibility of the Illuminati, but again, I think that's more of a fear, not really a fear mongering, but that's more of a conspiracy theory. There's always going to be some group of people who are sacrificing things to things and thinking they're going to get some kind of power. It's been going on for a long time. And it isn't just Satan worshipers. It's other groups and other people who do it. I believe that. I believe that to a point. I also believe that's a lot of, again, conspiracy theory. But I also believe that there's some truth to that. And I believe there's some truth to the aliens running things. I believe they do. I believe that's my opinion. I have difference of opinions than James does, but I believe that a lot of our history is going to change when they come. A lot of things are going to change. When it comes to when they finally admit that they're real. Now, do I think they're behind some stuff? I think they are, man. If they're real, they've been here before we have. Of course, their genetics are in us. There's something they've been helped. Maybe they don't run everything, but they're involved in a lot of things. And there's more than just this lady saying it. There's other people saying they do. But again, that's another conspiracy theory. I just wish that they would just be honest with us, because I think a lot of people are so misled. And once it comes out, a lot of people are going to be very disappointed that they followed a lot of stuff they shouldn't have been. And I think it's hurting us more than them not telling us, because they're so worried what we're going to think and how fear mongering and how people are going to handle it. In my opinion, it's time to quit lying. I think people are so used to being lied to, they just don't care anymore. And it's sad, because people would rather believe a beautiful lie than know the ugly truth. And I think that's a sad thing that happens in our whole way of life. I think that we live in 90% of lies, or what people have told us or written, or these accounts. But the problem is we're going by what we've heard or what we've read in history. And it's been proven before people can change and exaggerate and lie. and you'll never get the whole story about what really happened. And that's the problem. I mean, this lady, why would she was an executive. Maybe she's mad and because of something happened in the past, she got fired. That's why she's not it doesn't tell her why she quit. She's a former. So she could just be saying things because she's mad because they fired her or something. But she could be telling the truth. And again, they're making it look like a joke because they want you to think that. When are you people going to realize they're not going to tell you the truth, even though I wish they would, because you cannot handle it. That's what they think. And 99% of people also believe this that listen to our show. And they believe that you're too, I'm not saying stupid, but they're saying that you can't handle anything but being told what to do. Yeah, you get your freedoms, whatever. I know this show is going to be very controversial, but in reality, there's somebody running something. If you think that all this stuff isn't predestined, then I don't know what to tell you. I'm not a conspiracy theory person. I think a lot of people have too much time on their hands and they want to believe something so bad that they'll get this crap with a bunch of other people who are in fear. This is, like I said, a lot of this is fear that everything's unknown. It's always evil. And there's evil people everywhere, bro. I'm talking about in general. It isn't just these people we have to worry about. There's real people who just hate life altogether and just want to destroy things. And they have no motive other than they just don't care. And I think that's a lot of it. And there's people who I think if they told everybody the truth would go out and do dumb things, not care anymore, or go crazy and do something dumb, because there is some people out there who cannot handle anything really, because there's a lot of chemical imbalance, a lot of things going on. There's a lot of people who have a lot of mental issues. They can handle what's going on in real life. How in the hell are they going to be able to handle this? We were all just stuck for 2.5 years with the pandemic. Whatever you want to believe or what you think, the point is it happened. Now, how it happened and why it happened, I'm not going to get into political thing because I don't 100% agree with either side on this, but I have my opinions. But that's a whole different thing. It has changed everything. People are doing things crazy, and it's just happening. Just think about if they would come out and say aliens were real. What do you think people would do? I'm going to tell you, I can at least say 50 million or more in the United States alone, I just think wouldn't handle it. I don't think everybody would be. I think a lot of people would be cool. We already knew it, whatever. It's a trip, but there's some people who believe in stuff so much that this would destroy their whole belief system. I'm talking a lot of all religions. And I think some people wouldn't accept it, and they're going to say that it's demons and evil again. I'm not saying this is everyone, but there's people who believe everything it's ghosts or aliens are all demons and they're all evil. And that's what they would think. And that's not true. Not everything is bad or evil. And that's the problem. What would happen? Everybody would think that, it's evil. Even if they were regular, because it doesn't say in the Bible we're the only people here. It doesn't talk about it. Aliens are real or not. It doesn't say they're bad or good. So alien is only alien of this world. It is something from not this planet. That's what alien really stands for anyway. Extraterrestrial. I can't say the word. I've some words I can't say, guys. I have a speech impairment, so I've worked on it really well since I was a kid. But if there's bad aliens, there's probably good aliens. And I don't even want to go good or bad. There's probably aliens who've come here and who have actually helped us. There's probably bad ones who are involved in these people that are doing bad things. And I believe that there is a group of people like this, but I believe that they might be involved with these people. But I also believe there is a good to it too. I believe there is other, I wouldn't say humans, aliens out there that have come to try to help us. I don't believe them all bad. I think that is, again, fear. But I do believe there is organizations out there that are doing some stuff that is very bad. And I do agree with James on that. I do believe there is, but I do believe aliens do exist. And I believe to think they don't have anything to do with any of this is, I know most people do. You know, you can have your opinions, whatever, that's fine. But if there's bad aliens, there's going to be good aliens too that probably help us also. But that's my opinion. If you don't believe it, that's fine. You can believe whatever you want. It's your decision in the end. I just think that there's a lot of things that's going on we're never going to know. And we're never going to find out. We're never, and this is something James can agree with me on, we could find out one thing and 10 trillion things will come after that. We're never, ever going to know everything. That's the problem with human beings. We want to know everything, and we're not going to. We're not going to find out everything. Maybe when we die, that's different. But I'm saying as we're not, we open one puzzle, we'll just have 10 more to fill. And that's something I think we all can agree on. I whatever you believe, I just think that we're never going to know the truth till it's too late, or it's not going to matter. We're not going to be able to do anything when we're 70 and 80. We're not going to care. You know, it would have been really interesting if they would just be honest, and they are being honest. They're not going to tell you guys right now because, again, people don't know how to handle things. And then I don't think it's 90%, 99%, but I think it's good half a percentage of people, 50% or more, would not know what to do, man. They wouldn't know how to act. They would do some dumb stuff. And I believe that. And I'm sorry, it's just true. And it would be on all sides of the storm. And it's either fear, religion, or it's going to be they just don't care. And they want to find a reason to just do something. You know, there's people who are like that. They just use what's going on in the situation and just go along with it and not really know the whole situation and just go and blow up things and attack people and riot and not knowing the whole fact of everything. They're just doing it. You know, there's people who like to see the world burn. And that's just my opinion, you know, like this is a really cool show that we're doing. I actually enjoyed it, but I think there's a possibility it could be either or both. Put the concept that could be both. I mean, it could be them involved with this evil empire, and I believe there is some kind of order, and everybody does pretty much. I mean, I don't care what you believe in. Everybody pretty much believes there's somebody other than the government's running this. I mean, I think that's a lot of people's opinions, and that's probably 99% of the people. The point is how you believe it and why you believe it is a different thing. There's a possibility on both, and that's just all I'm going to say. There's a possibility on all of it. I don't know if I believe this lady, because I've seen this lady also say that the banks have run everything, they control everything, and there's some truth to that too. But like I said, we don't know the whole issue with this lady. If this is it's just one of these, conspiracy news channels, and like he said, they kept changing the narrative of the he and she. That was kind of weird too. So I don't know, I don't know if she's telling the truth, but I mean, I've heard this before, so I wouldn't be surprised. So I'm like, you know, I'm leaving an open mind. It could be any of it. You know, I'm not going to say it's wrong or right or what James saying, or I just think it could be a very big possibility. That's what I'll say.
Here's my problem with the idea that it's aliens controlling everything. If aliens were in charge and they were controlling every aspect of power, why would they allow the United States Navy to release those videos and to come out and say that it is from another planet? Like, those aliens are in those craft. Why would they allow that? They would just do what they've always done, which is make some excuse. Oh, it's a lens flare, it's a swamp gas, whatever. They wouldn't come right out and say, yeah, man, these are obviously craft and we don't know what the hell they are. They're not from here, because nobody can do that. They wouldn't allow that. So that's what makes me think that it can't be aliens in charge, because if it's aliens in charge and they're so smart and they're so advanced, they're doing a piss poor job of covering it up, because the government is saying that aliens exist. That's essentially what they've done in the reports that they've already done. They've said that there are craft here, that they are not from this planet. We don't know what the hell they are. That tells you everything you need to know. You know? So I don't buy the alien angle because of that. But something old boy said earlier about the demon worship aspect, that is 100% true. And it is provable that these people, or at least some of these people, in very high positions, worship demons. And I know that's a provocative thing to say, and it's controversial, and it sounds like conspiracy, but it's provable. If you look at the emails that were released by WikiLeaks, Hillary's emails, in that batch of emails that they have admitted are hers, there's an email there where she herself is talking about sacrificing a chicken in her backyard to Moloch. Now, Moloch is a demon. So you have an email from her where she is saying that she is sacrificing a chicken to Moloch. Now, whether that's code for a child or whether that's just a chicken, I'm not going to get into that, because there's arguments on both sides, and I don't know. But what it says in the damn email is that she is sacrificing a chicken to Moloch. It uses that name. And we all know that that is a demon. So it is provable in their own emails that they're doing this. Now notice when that came out, when the WikiLeaks drop happened, what was the response by all media? They all claimed that it was BS. They all claimed that it wasn't her emails. They all claimed that it wasn't true. They lied to us over and over and over again. They called anybody who talked about it a conspiracy theorist and a crazy person and all this stuff, like they always do. But then later on, they admit it. Same thing with the Hunter laptop thing that's going on now. At first they tried to say it wasn't his. Now they admit that it is his. Right? They always do this. This is what they do every single time. And this isn't political. This isn't a shot just on Democrats. The Democrats are dirty. Yes, they are. So are the Republicans. 99% of DC is dirty. 99% probably of the entire world's governments are dirty. They're all run by these same people. And probably the ones that run everything, you don't even know their damn names, most likely. The people that you know their names, that are really high level names, probably are answering to somebody else. Probably the people at the very top, I guarantee you we have no idea who the hell they are. And it's done that way for a reason, to protect them, you know? That's my thought on it. But it is absolutely 100% provable that these people worship demons and that they sacrifice to demons. So when I said earlier that it's a group of evil people that are devil worshippers, that worship demons, that is 100% accurate and 100% provable. It doesn't sound like something that's true because you've been conditioned your entire life to believe that any talk like that is nonsense. But go look it up. Go to Google or Yahoo or DuckDuckGo or whatever search engine you like to use and type it in. It was in the WikiLeaks drops of Hillary's emails. And you can find the email. A Google search will take you to the exact email and you can read it for yourself. And like I said, this isn't a political shot at anybody. Because I don't trust any of them. Because they're all dirty. You have very few. You have a few here in America and a few around the world probably that aren't. But the overwhelming majority are dirty as all hell. And they're all working together. That's why nothing ever gets done for the people. That's why we are constantly always struggling. That's why we're constantly always being bombarded and being fed garbage, man. Fed nonsense to divide us and to make us hate each other and fight all the time. It's always left versus right. Or it's good versus evil. Or it's white versus black. Or it's gay versus straight. Or it's man versus woman. It's always something versus something. That's how they keep us divided. The time for that is gone, man. We gotta get over all that crap. And we gotta start loving each other and working together and realize that you might be a Democrat and I might be a conservative. Right? You might be liberal, I might be conservative. But I guarantee you we have more in common than you have in common with those politicians that are screwing you over. They're telling you it's me doing it. It's not me. I'm not doing it to you. They're doing it to you. And if you actually look into it, you'll realize I'm right. And like I said, man, this is not a left versus right thing. They're all dirty. I want to make sure you understand that when I say it so that you don't dismiss what I'm saying as some political shot, because it's not. I don't give a damn about politics. Politics is another one of those things that they use to divide us and to control us. It's time for a real revolution in this country and in this world. And I'm not talking about a martial or a military confrontation. I'm talking about an awakening of minds, an awakening of consciousness where everybody understands what's actually happening and realizes that all the crap that they're trying to get us to fight about is not true. They are orchestrating a lot of this stuff to make us hate each other. And it's evil. I mean, there's no other way for me to say it. I mean, some people might not like that I call it evil, but that's exactly what the hell it is. These people are evil. And they are trying to turn us against each other so they can keep us under control. That's the bottom line, guys. That's the truth. I don't hate you because you believe a certain way. I don't hate you because you love differently than I love. I don't hate you because of the color of your skin. I don't hate you for any of those reasons. I love you no matter what the hell you think. You are free in this country, and you were given that freedom by God Almighty. You were given free choice to where you can decide for yourself what you want to believe. You can decide for yourself if you don't want to believe nothing. We are all brothers and sisters. All of us. Whether you are Christian and you believe in the Bible, then we came from the same two people. Or if you believe in science, and you don't have to believe in one or the other, you can believe in both. They're not mutually exclusive. But science has proven, and I did this on the channel before, an article about the study, that all of humanity alive today comes from either a single pair or a very small group of individuals around the same time. That proves that we're all related. Interestingly, that same study also proved that all the other life on Earth is the same way. That it all comes from a single pair or a very small group at exactly the same time. Which means we were all created at the same time. Whether you believe we were created by God or whether you believe that we magically turned into something from something else, whatever. We still come from a single pair or a small group, which means we are all related. We are all brothers and sisters. We are all family. So we got to cut out all the nonsense of fighting about stupid stuff that doesn't matter. Do what you want to do. Be happy. Live your life however the hell you want to live it. It's not up to me to tell you. It's not up to me to judge you. There's only one that can judge you. And you'll stand before him one day. But it's not my job. My job is to love you. And that's what I'm going to do. No matter how much they try to make me hate you, no matter how much they try to make us fight and argue and disagree, I don't care what they want. I don't care. I don't answer to them. I answer to God. And God has commanded me to love my neighbor as I love myself. It doesn't say love your neighbor unless they love somebody else in a different way than you do. If they love the same sex or if they love this, that, or the other thing, it doesn't matter. It doesn't say love your neighbor as you love yourself unless they happen to believe this thing and you believe this thing. We're just supposed to love each other and to help each other. Anything else is a lie from the enemy. Plain and simple. So when I tell you these people are evil, they're evil. When I tell you these people are demon worshipers, I'm telling you the truth. And once again, like I said, look it up for yourself. You don't have to take my word. As a matter of fact, I would rather that you didn't take my word for it. Believe me, I will not be offended. Look it up for yourself. And don't go and read some dumbass media person talking about it, saying it isn't true, and tell me that it isn't true. Read the actual email. And you will see, plain and simple on paper, there it is, in her own email, that proves it. And it's okay if you happen to be somebody that voted for her or happen to be somebody that supported her or still does. That doesn't mean that you can't see the truth and change your mind. I mean, that's happened to me in my life plenty of times where I've believed one thing and then I've seen evidence that proves something else, and then I'm like, okay, well, this is the case now, obviously, because the evidence proves that this is the case. That's how we grow as human beings. So don't be afraid to be wrong. Don't be afraid to learn and to change your mind on something. Believe me, I'm not going to be standing here with my arms crossed above you laughing at you saying, see, I told you, dummy. I'll welcome you with open arms. I'm glad you saw the truth. Now go tell somebody else. You know, let's wake everybody up. Because if we're not careful, there's not going to be a world to leave our children. And I don't mean that like melodramatically, like the world's going to be gone. The world will obviously still be here. But the world that we knew, where we were free and where we could make up our own minds of what to do, will not be here. Our children and their children will end up being slaves. Because if you can see what's happening, that's the way it's going. That's the trend. People are afraid to even speak anymore because they'll get canceled. You can't even say what you feel or what you believe anymore because you're authoritarian idiots telling you that you're a bigot or what you believe is not valid. Who cares what they think? They can't cancel you if you don't give a damn. That's the way I look at it. I don't care what they think. I know what the truth is. I know what I believe, and I'm going to stick to it. And if they don't like it, so what? Let them stomp up and down and scream and holler and act like big babies like they always do. I don't care. I am not going to deny the truth just because it offends somebody or somebody gets mad. That's the problem that we have in our world today, is people are afraid to tell the truth. With that being said, I've talked way too long, so I'm going to throw it over to Old Boy and let him give his final sum up, and we'll get out of here.
Thank you, brother. Again, this wasn't a political show. I have my opinions, but it is what it's going to be. You believe in whatever you want, man. Whatever you guys believe in this show, tell us what you think. Leave it on there, what your opinion is. Of course, I'm going to see different things. Just don't try to fight in the comments, please. It's really ridiculous. That's what we're talking about not to do. Me and James both believe in different things, and I have an opinion, and he has an opinion, but I'm not going to argue with him and fight and say he's wrong, or, that's his opinion. That's my opinion. But be respectful for each other. And that's all I'm going to say. But thank you for following us on ParaX Radio on Sunday nights, 9 Pacific, 12 Eastern, and the Best of show on Tuesdays. I think it's 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 Eastern, I think. Check us out on James Hershey's YouTube page. Subscribe. Check us out on TikTok. We're on there too now. We leave a lot of footage of the ghost investigations we do. You guys want merchandise, shirts, and stuff like that, he'll tell you where to go after I'm done blabbling. So I hope you guys like this show. It's something different, something cool. I actually enjoyed it. We're going to start doing about creatures and monsters again once in a while, because we've been doing a lot about paranormal and ghosts and stuff like that. So that should be nice and something different coming. So I hope you guys have a good night, Misfits, Sugar Ladies, Monster Lovers, and Demon Hunters. I love you and blessed be, and have a wonderful night, guys.
Hope y'all enjoyed the show. Old Boy gave all the plugs already, so I will just say that I love you guys, and we appreciate you listening. Until we speak to you again, love many, trust few, and do harm to none. God loves you, and so do we. Bye-bye.